Was not expecting to make this video today, but here we are. We've seen a new rumor that Tesla may be partnering with Palantir's Foundry. Now, if you are a long-time viewer of the channel, you will recall that this has been something I have been focused on for a very long time, over a year in fact. So I'm very excited to continue the discussion in this regard. Here I hope to express my opinion, which is a partnership with Tesla would mean Palantir is working with the best in the world in the highest capacity for the biggest results. And while we may not get a full confirmation on this, it's just a rumor, it might not happen. In fact, I've been less convinced of this possibility the longer time has gone on, because of course Tesla has their own ERP system that they've developed in the last few years and revitalized. But it's entirely possible that Palantir's sales team has gotten going and gotten connected with the people of Tesla to potentially get them into the acquire phase. And what I'm about to show you is a link from either Square on Twitter showing that Palantir has a URL with tesla.palantirfoundry.com. So when you click on this link, you're greeted by Palantir's login page, which isn't entirely helpful, especially when you type in an email. Some of these have worked before. In Tesla's case, it looks like they're using a VPN, whereby typing in a random email, emusk@tesla.com or whatever it may be, does not actually work out, as in it does not show the Tesla page after that, which you might expect. So it remains to be seen if this will get confirmed, but I know many people have been looking to see if big company names would be added on the sub-URL, Tesla being one of them, and now they appear. With a functioning URL as in tesla.palantirfoundry.com now leads to a Palantir page, whereas it did not used to lead to that page. So worth keeping in mind, but definitely increases the likelihood that there is something going on here. And either Square, of course, as I've mentioned before, friend of the channel, he's been working on uncovering these potential partnerships before they even happen, before they get announced, rather. And his take on this is that Tesla could be using Foundry for its charging stations known as superchargers, since they're opening them up to other EVs and virtual batteries and energy projects like one with PG&E would be helpful to have Foundry going for that. So in the rest of the video, I want to explain why this could be a possibility. We know that Tesla is going to be working towards opening up their United States superchargers towards the end of this year, as they have told the White House. And could Palantir Foundry be useful for that? Yes, it very well could. I've got a clip at the end to explain why. But first, I want to just circle around with a few snippets of what has led me and others that have been following along for the last couple of years around why Tesla could be partnering with Palantir, and moreover, some evidence for a supposed partnership. In Palantir's double-click event, we heard their focus on industrial applications of Foundry and learned of the quality and supply chain archetypes. And specifically, Palantir brought up electric vehicles and lithium-ion batteries as examples in its demonstration. I said in my impressions video, knowing Tesla and Musk's relentless focus on taking everything in-house, that PLTR would have a tough time getting a contract with TSLA. Why even bring Tesla up? Well, because I see TSLA as the North Star client. To be clear, Palantir does not need Tesla as a partner or customer to be huge. I see it the opposite way. If Tesla were to choose Palantir, it would be the greatest possible indication that PLTR has something irreplaceable and world-changing. I often like to pose questions to inspire thought for my viewers. So, throughout the rest of this video, the question becomes, what is stopping Tesla from using Palantir Foundry for its supply chain? Since Palantir dropped some gems during the industrials portion of DoubleClick, let's briefly return to that for a few clips before circling back to the question at hand. With the supply chain archetype, a company can simply replicate itself as a digital twin. At this point, the entity can then explore future impacts of any changes in its supply chain. And if this works as well as it is advertised, I think this means Foundry should be the obvious choice for Tesla as it scales. If I am right in speculating that Foundry could generate alpha for Tesla, I think TSLA has a responsibility to onboard PLTR. After all, as Tesla plans to grow 40-fold from 2020 to 2030 in car production and delivery, I think every single optimization matters. Palantir was mentioned in a Tesla press release, just the words Palantir Technologies. So this is by far not a confirmation of an exact partnership, but something I do want to dig into. On Tesla's website, on the Chinese website for them, there is this news press release, pretty much. Not necessarily a press release, but it says, test drive Model S at Palantir Technology, at one of Palantir Technologies' locations. So pretty much they're saying they're coming to Palantir in this way. So why would they be offering this? Well, it's a great question. Why would they be showing up to Palantir and saying, here, you get to test drive the cars, instead of saying, anyone interested, you can come to our location and you can find us and you can test drive? Well, there does seem to be a link here. And this is Tesla's real website here, the Chinese version of the website. So there's no denying that. The event did get taken down, not a China location. So that makes me think this is not for China. This is actually for the United States, considering how the text here is actually in English. Somehow this got published on the Chinese website. That's just what I'm thinking. So I do believe if we take a look at the office locations here, that they're referring to a North American site. If Tesla was indeed going to do some sort of crossover, I believe it would happen in Palo Alto. But if this is as big a deal as they're making it seem, that they want to allow Palantir employees and guests to test drive a car, there you have it. Some sort of development is happening, unless this was a complete botched website update. I don't know how Palantir Technologies, those two words, could get inserted into something as mundane as a test drive for a company. I've never heard of Tesla doing this sort of thing before, but it is making me think more and more that they are working together in some capacity. So now I want to dig into Palantir's EV OS. This was made in partnership with wejo, which of course we could talk about all day in some synergies that could work between wejo and Tesla. However, I do not think wejo and Tesla will partner. Wejo is doing their own thing. Tesla, it appears, does not need any help in regards to its data collection. They are doing great on that front. However, Palantir released its EV operating system earlier this year. It might have been last year, towards the end of the year officially, but here was my explanation of it when it got released. And Palantir has launched this new operating system for EV infrastructure in partnership with wejo. So I wanted to run through this white paper. They're announcing this new operating system for EV charging networks. They say the EV infrastructure operating system offers any business or organization the ability to build, scale, and operate first-class EV charging infrastructure for the coming mobility revolution. It integrates an organization's data through Palantir Foundry for operational decision-making, with the option to add wejo. Now recall that wejo is a SPAC that Palantir is partnered with, and they are a connected vehicle data company. An option to add on their data, a robust connected vehicle data asset that you can essentially get access to. I'm sure you have to pay for it at some point. There is an option to leverage the data there as well. The EV infrastructure operating system can help build profitable, efficient, and sustainable EV networks and ensure equitable and universal access to EV charging in the future. Now, of course, I want to mention there is no mention of Tesla in this white paper. I would not expect there to be. Tesla is certainly doing their own thing. But so here we have basically a screenshot of the operating system, and I'll show you some more below, but just to get a sense of what it actually looks like. Very much a Foundry product in the different elements that are available and how it looks. Low code, no code environment. We'll get to that in just a moment. Basically, we have these graphs here showing the network uptime, and then we have the fleet uptime here. Getting a visual interpretation as the percent unit operational on the y-axis here, and then over time on the x-axis. So if we just zoom in here again, we can see basically this is the map. We'll say, oh, there's a charger here. Let's check on the charging status, how the fans are doing, the temperature, the uptime. And on this charger, it looks like there are 5 charge points, and it's a municipal government facility in New York City. Gives us the coordinates. The application can identify faulty chargers by flagging when vehicles visited a charger but were not matched with corresponding charging transactions. A visual here, so we have the third-party data that could be a car manufacturer or automaker, and then proprietary data that could be the chargers, the company themselves, and then the optional to add in wejo, this new operating system that Palantir has just launched. Really shows the power of Palantir's technology and what it can actually be used for. So happy to pass it along, happy to share it with you. I can't wait to hear more about this and when it actually gets going with a potential client or customer. So there we have it. These are my up-to-date thoughts on what could be happening with the partnership. Again, totally alleged and not yet confirmed partnership between Tesla and Palantir, but this would be huge for me in the way that I view Palantir beyond what I could really express in a short video like this. But I think many of you will understand where I'm coming from, others won't. That's fine. I think we can all agree more partnerships of high caliber companies will be great for Palantir, no matter what their names are, and I can't wait to see more of them. I will continue to cover any updates on this in the future. Subscribe for my bear and bull case analyses of Palantir. Until next time.